What's up, man?
Going on, man?
Just chilling.
Yeah.
You're on lockdown. Where are you working at now?
I work at a place called Rotary Lift.
Is that in Madison?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right down the street from my house.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're not still being the big rock star I remember you as?
No, dude. I've been playing guitar all day, though.
I see you play guitar a lot. You got
Yeah.
that? Is that a 7 string you play?
Yeah, I got them on the wall like you do over here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I need to
Yeah.
do more of that. I don't play enough. I usually just sit in here and try to write crappy songs, and they come out really crappy.
Yeah. That's what I do too, man.
Good deal. Well, what's been going on, man? Last time I saw you was probably 2012.
Yeah, probably, dude.
You got kids now and everything, don't you?
Yeah, I've been a dad since 2012. So,
Okay, I remember, I think Nan was pregnant whenever I saw you guys last. But
yeah.
I think last time I would have saw you was the uh, All Became New, your final show with All Became New.
Yeah, you filmed that, right?
Maybe.
Or somebody filmed it and posted it. I can't remember who. There's like a whole part by part thing. No, actually, it was a dude named Kyle. He from North Vernon. Kyle, man, Huntman,
Okay,
right?
sounds familiar. I'm sure he was at all those kind of
He,
shows.
yeah, in one of those bands that played in Seymour a lot.
Yeah.
I can't think of what they're called, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've seen Greg and Sam in the past like 2 years, and I haven't ever seen them since that same shot. Sam plays in a softball league that my church plays in, and then
not,
I bought Greg's amp off of him in 2013, and then I just sold it back to him this past year. So
dude,
flipped it.
Greg's the gear wizard. He's got like 12 amps, bro.
I know,
Like,
and I just gave him one more. I had that PB Ultra from him that you guys used to tour with.
yeah, I went to his house and I was like, "What? Where did you get that?" And he's like, "That's my old one." And he's like, "I got it back from Logan." I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
why did you need it?"
I didn't think he'd ever want it back, but I saw that he had posted about wanting the PB, and I was like, dude, you can have this thing because it's sitting in my garage, and there was no need for me to ever have one of those again. But when you play
Hey,
at
man,
home, you playing out of an amp?
me,
Yeah.
I got a couple amps, bro. I got this little, it's a little Marshall combo, like modeling amp. It's got
Yeah.
the effects.
Yeah. You
I've got
want the running
big.
pedals out of that then? Oh, never mind.
I got I got pedal board. I got like a real deal,
Yeah.
the black and stuff, and a big cab, a
Yeah.
couple cabs.
Yeah. I got rid of all that stuff. Kind of was too weak to carry any of it. But
Yeah, man. I honestly have been looking at. I like those helixes and
yeah.
stuff. I've thought about just getting something like that, but I mean, it's not like I play out or anything,
Yeah.
so I
Those
want
dudes,
to.
those dudes in like Disciple and everybody's using those Kempers, or like the any dudes are
Oh
using.
yeah. I would take any of them, honestly. To be honest,
Yeah.
like I play out of this little Marshall, and I mean it's basically the same concept, just a cheap little
Yeah.
mod,
Modeler.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't play anything but the 51, the high gain
Yeah.
stuff anyway.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
play at church, and when I play at church, I just play clean. So
Yeah. For sure.
I don't care. I don't need all the gadgets, really.
Yeah. I
I'll
feel you.
stuff, but not really.
All right, man. Well, I figured I'm gonna put this up on the Lasting Hope / my solo / me and my wife's music's YouTube page. And so I just kind of wanted to start interviewing / just sitting and talking with some people that I grew up and was inspired by, and kind of shaped who I became in music and what I did in the past few years in music. And I put All Became New at the top of that list. And I think that's
Awesome.
really surprising to people because my music sounds nothing like you guys. But I have some stories that maybe you've never heard of. And the reason why you guys impacted me so much, I found out about you guys through Matt Begley. Um, we were 15 or 16 at the time, and I was at a friend's house staying. He was there too, and he played a Parkway Drive song for me, and I was like, "Dude, this is the music
Yeah,
I want to start listening to." And then he was like, "Well, these guys are from I don't know. I think you guys said Paoli at the time." Um,
yeah.
and he showed me it was NASCAR Wide Open. I don't think you weren't the vocalist on that, right?
No, I play guitar on that stuff,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. Well, that was the first song I heard about you guys. And then that was kind of the end of it. I didn't hear anything more about you for like another month. And then my band, me and Craig and Mason's band Quarantine, that
Yeah, yeah.
band.
Dude,
I don't know that there's much more.
okay.
We played a show in Seymour, which is the only shows you ever played, and you were in the gym that we played at. And I remember Matt Begley being like, "That's the lead singer from All Became New," and I was like, "That band we just listened to?" And he's like, "Yeah, he thought this was Scream the Prayer." It wasn't.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Somebody like, no, I didn't think it was. I thought it was like, I thought there was like a bunch of other bands play. I really don't remember. I remember being in that gym.
Yeah, you were sitting on a
And
laptop when I saw you, and then you were like, "I thought this was Scream the Prayer." Like, no, this is acoustic
yeah, I
garbage.
don't know. Jeremy Walt, the dude
Yep.
that ran like alley
Yeah.
shows, he just invited me to that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And he was like, no, he was saying he wanted to turn it into like a Scream the Prayer thing, like eventually or something.
Okay, gotcha.
And like I thought it was like something really going on, you know. But and I mean it was really going on, of course. But I mean like I I thought it was more like a rock show or something, you know.
Yeah, it was the exact opposite of that. But that
I,
was actually Quarantine's first show, so that was crazy.
yeah, and you played with us a lot after that.
Yeah, yeah. I went to like everything you guys ever played in Seymour, and then I went to your I don't know if it was your guys' CD release show or no, it was you had another band with your brother. I don't remember
Yeah,
what was the call?
Renounce the Fame. Yeah,
Yeah, Renounce the Fame. You guys had like a reunion show, and me and Matt Begley went up to that. And then I remember after the show was over, my parents weren't there yet, so I had to sit with you and Nan in the basement. So that was hilarious. And then
like
I think that the thing that I kind of wanted to focus on was what meant so much to me about All Became New was that I had grown up in a Christian home. Both my parents were worship pastors. It wasn't really called that back then, but they were traveling worship band people. Um, and so I grew up in the Christian household the whole time. I got baptized after a Toby Mac concert when I was 12. And then everything after that, from that 12 to 16 range, I kept like I obeyed all the rules. I never cussed. I never drank. It was all that legalistic stuff. But I didn't really feel like I had a relationship with God. And I really could see a pivotal moment in my life was around that 16-year, whenever I like found hardcore music. Um, and I think God lined everything up so perfectly for my life that he constantly was keeping hold of me even when I didn't see it. So, for instance, my point of rebellion should have been finding music that was like screaming. At least that's what my parents thought. Like that was going to be my rebellion. The first show I ever went to that had any screaming was you guys at an All Became New show, and you guys had just got off tour. And I remember you basically had everybody sit down in the Music House Cafe. I remember you said you were tired like 14 times, but you started giving kind of your testimony before Father's blessing, and I think that was the moment that like it hit me like this is who I want to be. I want my identity to be in Christ, and I think that I was so vulnerable right in that moment. Everybody's like at 16, you're kind of trying to find who you are, and I think God just smacked me with um, that moment on purpose to keep me in him and in his perfect plan. And so from that, if that never happens, if I don't go to that All Became New show, if my parent doesn't drop me off while there's people smoking outside and my mom's like super sketched out about it, if that
yeah,
doesn't happen, I don't start the lasting hope. I don't rededicate my life to Christ. And so I owe you guys like a huge part of that. And anytime I like show people the music I used to listen to, knowing that I've been in this pop band forever, they're like can't believe it. They think it's satanic or whatever. But that's just like a old whatever
man, yeah,
mind way of thinking.
yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah, you don't realize how much honor it is to have someone say that. I mean, I remember all of these things. For the most part, I remember all of that,
Yeah.
and it's just precious memories, and like you said, dude, like you're part of rebellion or something,
Yeah.
or, basically, like, it was funny you brought up Disciple a while ago. Like, I don't know if you've heard Old Disciple or not.
Yeah.
Like,
When they were actually pretty
like
hardcore.
By God and like
Yeah.
Back Again Disciple. That was what did it for me. Like, grew up in a Christian household, just like you, man. And I wasn't allowed to listen to Metallica or anything like that. And then finally, I get dropped. Happens to come through French Lick, Indiana. Disciple. And it's like I go see Disciple. I'm like, wow, I can still get wild.
Yeah.
In the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what I be.
Yeah.
And I, like, even, I don't know, like, even though evil had taken over metal or something back in the day, crazy radical Christian people that don't like it or whatever,
Right.
you have to realize that God created all things, like,
Right.
and especially music. So my whole thing was, hey, this was mine before it was anyone else's.
Yeah.
Because that seed was ensouled into my heart. That everything is the kingdom of God first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be screaming music, but the fact is he owned it first. Mm-hmm. So it's art, not anyone else's. And I don't know, man. I'm probably just rambling. Doesn't really answer your question, but
no,
I'm just really. That was all I wanted, was someone like you, or just, if I could touch one person.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I touched one person, and that, that's what Paul said. That,
for sure.
That's awesome. That's an accomplishment to me,
Yeah, I think it definitely rippled. I mean, it's like, it's if you guys had never started that, I don't start the Lasting Hope. I would have played music, but it wouldn't have been at that point in my life. I'm like, okay, I'm still going to be a Christian, but I'm not going to play any music that's like, I'm just going to play like whatever. It would have probably been like a Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. But at this point, that point in my life was like, okay, I want to do this. The reason why they're doing it, to spread something bigger than myself. And that took me forever, and I did a lot of things out of ego, and I did a lot of things for my own sake. But eventually, through those choices, I really feel like maybe we didn't make as big of an impact as I would have wanted, but I found myself in Christ through doing all that. And I think the band, my band personally, also found that. So if anybody was impacted by anything, I really feel like it was what you guys did to help me start, and it branched off into so much else. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm always going to be super thankful for you guys for that. I told Sam that when I ran into him too at the, he was like, all right, dude, no idea who you are. Hope you guys lose.
Yeah, Sam's bad, bro. Like, yeah, he lives on the same street as me, actually.
That's awesome.
Well, actually, Danny Adams from Conveyer is here too.
I've been wanting to talk to him. What's up, Danny? I was just watching the Matthew Chaptor video a while ago.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't know you get a guest like that in on this, huh?
I didn't know that. I've got the big leagues.
The big leagues of us, bro.
Well, that would actually lead to you're welcome to join in, Danny. I actually leads to I have a couple questions I was going to ask you. I knew that whenever you left All Became New, that like you were doing it, you had started a family and all that. Was there more behind that? You don't have to disclose anything else you want. I know that you already had Danny. You had Mike Mullins first, right? And then you came back.
I mean, it's kind of a long story, man, but yeah, there was a lot more behind it. I mean,
there was even a vocalist before Thaddeus, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of vocalists all became new, but I guess like for the most part, everybody knew All Became New with me because we only toured with me until Danny joined them.
Yeah.
But
and the band only did the festival circuit with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. Anyways, I kind of had my mom had just passed away, dude, and like
I remember you sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it hit me kind of hard, and you know, having a kid too, I needed to grow up. And,
yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
But like,
place.
Yeah, I kind of got out of control with like being a douchebag, I guess you could say, to everyone, just because I was an emotional wreck there for a while. But
no, I get that. Yeah.
I had no intention of really quitting that band, but you know, other things happen.
Yeah.
In life. But yeah. But like I pretty much handpicked Danny, even though
he handpicked me without trying to.
Yeah, like to take my spot, you know.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, dude. I had to take his spot for us to become friends.
Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah, now we're best friends. I mean, I hang out with him more than anybody, and it's really, really weird, you know. Honestly.
That's awesome. Hey, Danny, are you still in Conveyor? Are you guys still active?
No, we haven't. we haven't done a tour since July of 2018.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm making too many excuses. It's a mix between like everyone kind of either got engaged or married, and we're all kind of like worn out from 5 years of nonstop touring and being lied to about some of it.
Yeah. Didn't Victory just get bought out recently? Did Victory just get bought out?
Yeah, they got acquired. Yeah. What was it? I want to say Cascade, but it's the who's the blind piano player, the black guy?
Ray Charles?
Yeah, it's the whatever label he was on. It's like massive.
Okay.
Funny note. I'm not a freak, but this was like what 2-3 months ago. Our guitar player Jared, I'm in the group chat, and I'm like, remember how we got acquired by that big label a few months ago? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you guys want to bet me $20 that the guy who owns that label is like a super old Jewish guy?
Is he?
And they're like, yeah, probably. Like, look it up. And they're like, oh heck yeah, we just got acquired by like the music industry kings. And I called our label and I was like, hey, I know like we got back from Europe and we did another tour, and I was like kind of a ghost. I don't really care about the music industry. I'm just thankful for the label kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're, oh, it's business as usual. Take your time. I'm like, cool. I don't want to do it right now.
Yeah. I got you. So that leaves me with both of you in the room. And, you know, Danny has a take on it from him doing this recently. And then, Will, you've got the whole, how many years you did it. Do you guys think that in 2020, coronavirus out of the window, do you think live music is going to be around in 5 years? Like, you think people are still going to keep coming to shows? Because there's definitely been a decline. But, like, do you think that, from the biggest markets to the hardcore scene, like, do you think that live music's dying out, or do you have hope?
Man, I wish, you know, I
should die out.
No, I hope it keeps going. Like, yeah, it's hard to say right now, bro, to be honest with you, man. But I've been to a few shows, which are only like pretty big shows, though. You know what I mean? Like, I went to the big Louder Than Life thing. And seen Odd or whatever. But that's not, like you said, like huge bands and stuff. And I went and seen Knock Loose. I mean, that was a big show just because it was in their hometown and it was a CD release. But like, dude, yeah, that's the question, bro. I don't know.
I think that none of us are getting out of this lockdown believing the same. It won't happen about like the paradigm we live in.
Okay.
At least the ball will have started rolling by the time this is over. So if and when the music industry bounces back, however that looks, with venues actually closing down and APA's CEO getting indicted, I don't know what it looks like, but I do know that people in general, previous showgoers and people who are absolute normies, will want music because of the information being created by this garbage.
Yeah, I understand that.
I think the passion of it, it's another way God is pouring logos over an entire generation. It's a good way to say it, I think. I mean, it's just, is it not obvious that our oligarchs don't have our best interest in mind?
Mm-hmm. I kind of think we're at a pivotal point where it's either going to go up or down from here. And I think this was the catalyst that's going to be responsible. Maybe not all for it, but it's definitely, we're at a place where we can really pivot to go forward or pivot. I noticed like our last few years, our market was mostly youth group kids. And it seemed like every youth group leader, by the time we were finishing up doing it, they were like wanting to be worship pastors, but they became youth group leaders instead. So they didn't want other bands to come in. And so we were touring like all the youth group scenes or whatever. But by the end of it, they were like, oh, we've got our own band. It's just kind of that's just how it goes. But I know for us, like it was getting way, way harder to play shows. We were only doing literally festivals, and that's just in this scene, that's the only thing you can really do if you're pop or CCM or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they're closed for the whole summer. Our old drummer is Big Daddy Weave's tour manager now, and they've canceled everything until August. So it's like, well, this summer's done. So it's either next year you're gonna have to do ×2, or it's gonna be a wash. But
yeah, dude. I mean, luckily I haven't done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's, there were shows still happening. I truly am blessed, bro, that I got to do it when I did.
Yep.
To be honest with you, man, because I have friends, like really close friend of mine here in town. Shout out, I guess, whatever, to a band called Hollow Valley. They're from here in town.
Okay.
And they're pretty dope band, like if they were to play with us 10 years ago, people would have went nuts. You know what I'm saying, man? Like a lot of people probably would have been there and going hard for them. But it's like, dude, it's hard for them to get like 10 people. You know what I mean? With like good bands playing with them. So it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, and like the cool thing about whenever I was playing, everyone knew everyone, whether you were from that state or town.
Yeah.
And it was just the family union. The show, it wasn't like a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I liked about it, which doesn't happen in my scene at all. So I think you froze. You back?
Got me?
I had you. Your face is gone, but your audio is back.
Oh, wonder what happened.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate, especially when you guys were like coming out with like Valero and everybody. It seemed like everybody was like, I don't know, you guys weren't big rock stars, which is how it is now. And so,
like, the only way it works is if you're a family, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, that's the only way shows are going to happen, is if everyone's on the same page. And that's the thing that kind of is going on now, is like not everyone's on the same page because of like political reasons or whatever, like, so it doesn't matter now like it used to.
Yeah.
Before, I feel like everybody didn't care about that stuff because social media was a thing, but it wasn't a big thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
MySpace. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, all place was for is to listen to music.
Yeah, for sure. Create backgrounds.
Weird and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. people creating backgrounds and charging you money for them when they didn't actually make them. Speaking from experience.
Yeah. Top friends and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I forget how much it cost to design our MySpace back then.
Yeah, we bought one for quarantine, and then I, like a couple years later, just back Google searched it, and it had been used like 14 times. The guy was like, "Yeah, it's exclusive rights," but I won't dox that guy. So,
yeah.
But I just feel like now, obviously, local venues are shutting down. There's no Seymour music anymore. I mean, that doesn't happen. And then I don't know if you, you do know, I'm a teacher now, so that's why I know TJ Crane so well. My man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's wild, dude. I've known TJ since I was like my kid's age, bro.
He worked in the special needs department whenever I was in high school there, but he and I never like talked at all. I never had anywhere where I would run into him. I'd see him in the halls. And so then last year when I took the job at the school, I worked in the office originally, and Crane took over guidance counselor and had really no interaction with him before that. And then we just became, best friends. We always talk about how, like, with him being a pretty, he's a non-believer, and we always talk about we're going to do a podcast one day where we just go back and forth. Yeah, he was supposed to be in my wedding, but with the COVID-19, we had to push back the date. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
Oh wow, yeah.
But
dude, EJ's cool, man. I used to like gamble with him out there at my house because.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he tell you we
golf.
Yeah, we had the driving range in my backyard, and I'd go up there and hustle all those older dudes, like older kids.
That's like, you said you were pretty good.
Yeah. I was all right.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't have very many more questions. I was going to ask, like, one, I think that exclusive right here, you guys had talked about doing an All Became New reunion show. Are you guys still have any plans for that?
Man, it's I don't know, dude. We always say it, and then we're just too old and lazy. But yeah, I want to bad, bro. Like, for real. That's the thing. Like, the whole show thing. That's why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
To more have like family reunion instead of a show.
Yeah.
Instead of being some political movement, it's like I'm gonna have all my friends' bands play a show with my old band.
Yeah.
So like, and yeah, dude, I'd love to have that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Maybe. I mean, I know a lot of people around here would too. So.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I'd love for that to happen. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to play a show.
Yeah.
Whether it all became new or I play with someone else, which might happen then soon, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then I think just to end on, obviously this is going to be the heavier topic, so I probably should have talked. What's your relationship today? Where do you, with the local church in general, being churches around here, and then the body of Christ, like, what's your stance on local church? Are you involved still in local church, or?
I mean, dude, I don't know. I am involved. I'm involved enough with the fact that I have a lot of friends that still go to local church.
Yeah.
And I still, I mean, I don't know what to think about church anymore, bro. To be honest with you. But I do have a relationship with God,
no
better.
Doubt. And
I love Jesus with all my heart and soul, and I love his people, But as far as like, I don't know, man. I haven't had.
I totally feel you. I mean, I struggle with the same things a lot of time too, with as far as like legalism and.
Well, like I feel like here's the problem with me, dude. Like, just like you, dude. Like, believe it or not, all through all these years that I was in All Became New and in my adult life until I was 29 years old, I have played worship almost consistently every Sunday. And I mean, and like that's the thing is like, here's the thing. What I don't think, why I don't know about church is because I've never been in church.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Leadership.
I've always been on leadership. Never had a chance to just be someone in the congregation that doesn't know any of the politics. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't know anything that's going on. And like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know on the other side of the fence, bro. I wish I did.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get that. I've been since 2016. I've been on a staff at a church, and I think if people knew the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, they wouldn't want to be in the pews or in the chairs.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. I hold on because I'm like, there's something here worth people hearing, but if they were on the other end, they probably wouldn't want to be hearing. So I get that totally.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll be praying for both you and Danny. I thank you guys so much for what you've done. You guys both between All Became New and you know, I just listened to Haven. I showed my wife Haven the other day. I was like, yeah, I used to listen to this guy's fan too. So my wife is not a fan of any music this screams. She's more of a Song Bethel kind of girl. But thank you guys for what you've done. Seriously, there is no lasting hope without All Became New. There is no my solo stuff that no one knows or cares about, but there is none of that without you guys. So thank you so much, and thanks for taking some time just to talk today, dude.
Thank you, man. I love you and appreciate everything, dude.
Love you too, man. You guys take care. All right, thanks, dude. Take care. See you guys.
Yeah.